I'm pretty sure the last few scenes of 3.2 alone gave us 3 times the lore bombs Enkanomiya did in its entirety. Let's take a look at what came up. Spoilers for the end of the 3.2 Archon quest, as well as the 2.6 Dainsleaf Chasm quest, and some mild spoilers for Nahida's story quest 1 to follow. There's a lot, so apologies for the rambles. The first thing is that knowledge is treated as a tangible weapon in the final fight with Scaramouche. Not just in the way that accumulating knowledge gives one more experience when fighting, though there's that too, but such that Nahida's makeshift Akasha terminal literally fires manifested knowledge at him, similar to the Aranara's Ara Kalari being memories used as tangible projectiles and shields. This seems odd unless you treat it as data as the sages do. If the rest of the world is data too, this suddenly makes a lot more sense. Ditto for forbidden knowledge itself being a corruptive influence without even needing to be used for anything. It's malware triggering the system's defenses by simply existing. In both the Archon quest and Nahida's quest, attention is drawn to Paimon being immune to the corruptive influence of the dreams involved. In this analogy, it's possible Paimon is immune because she's meant to be a helper program of some sort and not a fully fledged AI or person, so she simply lacks the faculties that those dreams target. Next, the Abyss twins' data being in Irminsul. As Nahida says, the twins suddenly appeared in Kandria, so I don't think they were born in Teyvat as the reveal implies. Rather, I think the Sustainers Cube somehow added her data to the root directory of Teyvat, so the world treated her as a native. Something must have gone wrong with the Traveller to spare them that fate at the cost of being trapped for an extra 500 years. For an analogy, think of Irminsul as being a PC's C drive where all the core programs are installed, with the Traveller as a portable file that just sits on a desktop, or an external hard drive. They all function the same in the end, but the Traveller is still treated as an external entity and is exempt from stuff like the certain file cleaning that happens in the finale. You'll hopefully know what I mean if you've played the quest. The 500-year delay would be the equivalent of a file transfer failing due to corruption, or more likely, the destination storage already being full, since both twins were foreigners. And to take a Descenders detour, Nahida says there are 4 Descenders. The first was the Heavenly Principles and the fourth was the Traveller, with the middle 2 unknown. However, she lacks info of before Sun and Moon, obviously, since she wasn't executed as Orobashi was, which tells us about Phanes and the second who came, and that the world already existed before Phanes. It's possible that the Heavenly Principles was the latter and came third, Phanes was second, and the actual creator of Teyvat, whoever that was first. The Traveller may have been spared Orobashi's fate for the same reason they can remember Rukkhadevata with no ill effects. Forbidden knowledge doesn't corrupt Teyvat when it's held by a foreign body. Back to Nahida's other point, the Sustainer is implied to be a manifestation of the Heavenly Principles themselves and not just a sustainer. This makes more sense if you think of her as an antivirus or some sort of living rollback function. She tries to fix the foreign twins in the prologue by integrating them into the main system, and Nahida's threat of incurring her wrath by destroying the Gnosis could be similar to how your PC will throw errors or try to roll your file state back to a previous point if you accidentally delete a vital file, as long as you have a backup ready. The Gnosis in this instance would be key registries or System32 files, something vital to keep the system running. And of course, even though the Sustainer is seemingly MIA, I'm sure she would have kept a backup, because that's her job. Of course, the sky being fake would tie into this as well, since nothing has infinite processing power, and there would have to be a limit to the world somewhere. Why would such knowledge come from the Abyss? Well, there must be a lower limit to the world too, since Teyvat is implied to either be on a flat or curved plane. There were also some old theories that Teyvat was turned upside down at some point in the past, so that Abyss knowledge would be from before that time. It's long been my assumption that the reason Leonard's memory of failing to climb Pillow's Peak in 1.2 proved the fake sky's existence is because he hit the skybox, be it physical or digital, partway up, a la Truman Show. And I imagine the Abyss Dwellers or Kandrians did something similar. The Desert King, for example, may have found out he was part of a simulation and tried to back up his data to a device outside of Teyvat. An upside down Teyvat could also tie into the theory that the twins were always from Teyvat too. That sounds contradictory to what I just said, I know, but to use the PC analogy again, what if the Abyss is Teyvat's equivalent of the recycling bin? Anyone whose data was taken out of the bin and reinstalled may still be treated as foreign bodies, especially if the entire previous file structure was binned, a la the Teyvat flipped theory. If Kandria being razed to the ground was the Sustainer deleting it would explain the Abyss Order's obsession with reclaiming Teyvat. The principals literally treated them as trash to be erased. Also, any techies in the audience will know that deleted data can be restored unless the memory space it once occupied is overwritten, because when you delete a file, all you do is just remove indicators that that space is being filled. This may explain the Hilichurl curse, as well as Dane's comment about his curse overwriting him. The curses are replacing their code so that they can never be restored, even if an admin were to attempt recovery. The current continent of Teyvat itself may be meant to replace the previous civilizations in the same way. I hope this theory isn't debunked within minutes of my posting it like some of my early ones were, because I quite like it, but that also may just be because of how mind-blowing 3.2 was. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. Please comment your thoughts below, and if you liked it, consider liking and subscribing for more. Thank you all again, and as always, have a great day.